This is a supplemental recording intended to go with the lesson called Envisioning the Merkaba. And Envisioning the Merkaba, I have done a lot of work with two-dimensional representations of the star tetrahedron. But with student feedback, it has become apparent to me that I really need to record something that shows graphically and three-dimensionally what is going on when I talk about adding another dimension and turning the star tetrahedron shape of the Merkaba into an octahedron. So first up, let's just bring this a little closer and check out. This is a star tetrahedron. I didn't make this. I purchased it specifically so I could record this lesson. And you can see the two interlocking tetrahedron. Here's the one that is facing upward, all right? And here's the one that is facing downward. And now I'm going to rotate this a little bit because that is the beauty of doing this in 3 dimensions. Okay? And so that's quite a familiar viewpoint of this sculpture, but now I'd like to turn it on its side. And what you begin to see here is a perfect square. Now, please note that this model itself is not perfectly square. It was cut by hand, so it's not something that is machine-made and perfect. But you can see that's a square, and now I'm going to rotate this a little bit to the camera, and you can begin to see how this forms a cube. Here's the top of the cube. And this was one side over here. Now this is the front face of the cube and the bottom of the cube. And I'm just going to turn that at a few different angles so that you can see that's a cube right there. That's a cube. Okay, and now let's contrast this shape with an octahedron. This is a crystal that was gifted to me, and I believe that it is naturally occurring in this form. So you can see it's not perfectly symmetrical, but this is a beautiful, naturally occurring example of an octahedron. Let's count the sides. First of all, let's look at it in 3 dimensions. What it looks like. I'm just rotating this around. Now you can see this is pretty much made entirely out of squares. This is a square, okay? Just like the square base of the pyramid at Giza, the Great Pyramid, and these are all squares every time I rotate this. Now I'm rotating it 90 degrees. And look at that, it's still a square. However, the magic of this shape is that although it's made up of all squares, the faces, the sides, are all equilateral triangles. So the equilateral triangle is quite a magical shape and a recurring shape in the Merkaba, the flower of life, and the chakra system of your body. And I bring this up because this octahedron is one of the formations that one may make with 8 equilateral triangles. Hey, what does equilateral mean? Equilateral means that all of the sides are the same length. This, and this side are all the same length, and this makes up one face. And so it is the same with the pyramids that comprise the interlocking, the star tetrahedron. This would be one equilateral triangle. You see all of those sides are the same length. And now this is the downward pointing one. Here is another equilateral triangle, okay? And I have counted up on the Educreations video how many sides this has. Now let's count it up in the physical reality. And this will be my little pointer. I hope that you can see well enough with my little pointer. So this right here, that's one side, okay? Then it's 2, 3 is on top, and 4 is behind. That's 4 sides of one tetrahedron, the one that was facing down. Now let's count the sides of the one that's facing up. One side, the side nearest us. This side on the left, this side on the right, and the side on the bottom. That's 4. 4 and 4, that makes 8. Now, let's do this octahedron. This is probably even easier to see like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right? And when we flip it around, 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, we have 8 sides. What we're doing is following the rules of the universe. We're not doing anything contradictory. We are simply turning this shape into this shape. And when I say we're turning, we're doing it with our mind. We're doing it with our perception. We are doing it using the incredible creative capacity within our pineal gland and our indigo chakra. So we begin the Merkaba by creating this star-shaped tetrahedron, an energy field around our bodies. Then you can see when I tilt this just so, how we can connect together this point, and then up to this point, and this point, and this point, up to this point, and that creates that amazing platonic solid, that octahedron that becomes this. So we're turning this into this. And now I'm going to show you the energetic integument as to how to do that. So I'm starting off with this lovely piece of paper. And first I'm just going to hold it out like this so you can pretty much see that we almost have a hexagon. If we filled in, boom, boom, 2 more, let me use this pointer so that you can see things better. If we filled in here and here, you would have a full hexagon, but we just have 4 equilateral triangles. You can make one of these yourself out of a piece of paper. It's very simple to do. The key is I have cut this little triangle so that it flaps free, and I just kept a little bit of it together over here, or you can also use some magical masking tape, which is what I did on this version over here. Must be magical. What I'm starting off with is, before I do that too quickly, now we're going to fold this and we're going to create a pyramid out of it. And so just look along with me how I do that. This part stays on the bottom as the base. There we go. Oops, I hope that you can see this very clearly. I'm just going to place it down on the table so you can see it a little better. Here we have our beautiful upward facing pyramid, and we can count the sides. Here's the little pointer. Side 1, side 2, side 3, facing away from the camera, and down there underneath, side 4, all right? And of course, I have 2 of them that I can fold so that you can see it, but I only have 2 hands, so until I grow 2 more hands, I'm just going to leave this one down here on the desk. And now I'm going to show you how you turn these 4 sides into the top half of an octahedron. So we're creating this top half structure over here. I mean, first of all, you have to understand that this pyramid is not the same as the square-bottomed pyramid of Egypt. This is an equilateral pyramid, so it's the same in every direction. But what we're about to do is pop this bottom pyramid forward and create a square-bottomed pyramid. So I'm doing this so that you can see it in the right way with the camera. 1, 2, 3. Opening up this part and bringing the bottom upward like this. Now you have the top half of an octahedron like this. See, there's the square base of the pyramid. Here's the octahedron. There's the square base of the pyramid, and here's the top half of the octahedron. So you, hold on one second. Magic tape, magic masking tape, so we can undo it when we want to undo it. And let's do this one. Folding it around. Beautiful little Now we have two of these beautiful pyramids, and of course they don't have bottoms because the two bottoms stick together like this. And let me just move this camera very gently back so you can see it a little bit better. There we go. Oop, let me put that back together again. There we go. So of course this was done as a graphic way for you to see, and possibly, if you are industrious, build yourself and feel with your own fingers how to change and shift around these 8 sides to go from this star tetrahedron shape into this octahedron shape. And now let's also turn this to the camera so that you can see through it if the light is just right, and if I get my pointer just right, you should be able to see. I don't know if the lighting will work and cooperate, but you should be able to look through this crystal and see. Let me see if I put a whiter background behind there, if that might help it. Yes, that does help. You should be able to look through there and see the star tetrahedron shape. That's one back face. All right, now I'm tracing this forward face that is near us, and those are the 2 interlocking pyramids that we have here in this shape. And what you're essentially doing is performing a maneuver of your perception to go from looking at something as if it is, let's say in previous lessons I showed you the bridge between squares and hexagons, to go from looking at something as if it is a flat polygon like a hexagon, and using your mind to actually add depth to it and create a 3-dimensional object like a cube out of it. That's adding another dimension simply with your perception. And in order to do this maneuver, to go from this, to change these structures from pyramids into, or tetrahedrons into pyramids that are similar to the Great Pyramid of Egypt, and then put them together into this shape, in order to do that, that is a maneuver of your perception. That is adding another dimension by the way that you look at something. So when you master creating this star tetrahedron shape, what you then practice doing is having this point spin around in this direction and have this point spin around in this direction. And now we'll look at it from up above. All right, so that would be this one spinning around like this, and this one spinning around like this. And it starts to create the opportunity to, if you add your perception in the right way, create an object that is like this. And it is that flashing or oscillation between this shape and this shape that creates another interdimensional portal. This is very important information. This is really information about how to travel the stars. This information literally can set your mind free and allow you to roam beyond the limitations of the speed of light and the 3rd dimension and the room in which your physical body is actually placed. So this is very, as I said, powerful, intense information. It is beyond merely a trick of perception. It is a maneuver that, when mastered, will really be a key to unlocking your full potential and your full powers and achieving mastery. So this is the end of this particular recording about the Merkaba. However, this will return in many subsequent lessons. It's a subject matter that we will return to over and over. Thank you very much.